Hello and welcome. On behalf of East Asian Education Limited, I'm excited to introduce Form 2, the second forum on the richness of manhood, which will be held on 1st November 2025 at the Suntec Convention Centre in Singapore. Form is an opportunity for men to remind ourselves of our richness, our talents, our masculine genius, as we work with and complement the feminine genius, and hence fulfill our immense responsibilities to self, family, and society. The forum aims to bring together a variety of men from different backgrounds and circumstances who will share on a range of manly virtues and strengths. As men, we can and must learn to be better. Now, one of the very esteemed speakers at the conference is Nicholas Gabriel Lim. And the title of his talk? Men, You're Not Born for Porn. Nicholas is the co-founder and board chair of Indigo and Company, a charity specializing in human sexuality, providing support for individuals and families navigating sexuality issues through mental health therapy, befriending, and life coaching. Nicholas is a registered psychologist and a recognized expert in Singapore, specializing in youth work. And now he's a qualified legal practitioner too, right, Nick? Hello, Nick. Welcome.
That's right, John. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so the last time we met over lunch, you were really so absolutely deluged by work and on your very busy schedule and having to multitask with so many things. Things still the same?
Isn't that the case for everybody in Singapore?
Oh, well, yeah, you're telling that to a grandfather. So yes, welcome to the club.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, well, to introduce yourself and also for the benefit of our viewers, can you give us a brief rundown of your family and your work?
Yes. So I'm a father of 3 kids. Married to my beloved wife, who's actually an educator within the early childhood space. Myself as a practicing psychologist for the past 20 years, largely working with vulnerable young people. And interesting that you asked me that, because I think reflecting about your questions for today, actually, all these years, a lot of male clients I've been seeing, all throughout these years, and largely male clients, I mean, I see everybody, but I think that's what I've been doing all these years, working with largely male individuals.
Now you know who are the ones with the bigger problem.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder of, how I should also improve myself, to be a better version of myself. Yeah, so I do teach as well at a university. Like you mentioned, I sit on the board for Indigo, a counseling center for sexuality. I do maintain a small portion of my time for practice, like this, to hone my skills, to continue to work with the people who need support in the area of mental health and well-being.
And I guess that's where your passion is, I guess.
Very much so. Yeah, and I think within the space of this thing called trauma related issues, when I talk about trauma related, it could be within the brain or emotionally or psychologically. Basically, some form of impact that one has actually been, I guess, inflicted with as during the process of growing up. Could be early years, could be later years, some form or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, back to your talk, right? What motivated you to give this talk, Men, You're Not Born for Porn?
As far as the topic is concerned, it was a copy session, that I always have with Alvin. We like to come together, and I really enjoy talking to Alvin, Dr. Alvin Wong.
Who is an organizer for this event.
Indeed, and I like to have this intellectual discussion with him, and through that discussion, we were talking about what I'm doing, as you did as well, and I was reflecting, and I realized I've actually been working with a lot of men all these years, and then he very automatically, as usual, him very naturally, I mean, so who are people you normally meet, and what are the general issues? And I said, hey, Alvin, there's like actually a lot of male individuals, but this topic of porn keeps coming up, but I thought that was normal because, then he was just very quick to say, why don't we talk about that? In the upcoming conference. I said, then what talk about porn? About us, I suppose, because you largely see men, right? So is there something that we can talk about? I said, yeah, for sure, definitely, because it's a large part of I guess I wouldn't say for all, but most men I work with, and it manifests itself in terms of the effects upon in our lives, depending on where you are, how young you are. So, but for me, it's largely I would say evident in three categories, of men or stage of life for men. Right, one is when they are growing up and they are wanting to find out about themselves, and then there is the existence of porn, and that becomes something that men actually look at, dabble with even, or experiment, explore to find out about who they are as a male individual. So that's one category, right? And in that space itself, and you can imagine it will lead to many different understanding of what that material is, and then they explore individually by themselves. That's one category. The other category is that of offenders. Why this group only came to light sometime last year or the year before, when the Ministry of Home Affairs actually presented on this platform called the Conversations on Youth, and they were actually highlighting the numbers relating to the sexual offenders in Singapore, and they're largely young offenders. And one thing really struck me is that a lot of these sexual offenders, it's not causal, but there's actually an early onset of exposure to pornography. I'm like, this is very interesting, right? So, so I work with, not directly with sexual offenders, but nonetheless still work with those who theoretically would see themselves going towards that direction, because they begin to explore with a lot of activities that may eventually take them there, right? And also those who question what they should not do, can or cannot do, and then start entertaining the ideas, or of certain activities may, well, by general standards, a bit inappropriate, or it's quite questionable. So that's the second group. Then the third group will be those in relationships, because I do see young couples, also couples in their marriage, like maybe 5 to 10 years, and they talk about not being understood in terms of their sexual needs, and sometimes having to dabble with pornography is something that helps them to manage themselves, and for some, not all, for some, that will lead them to quite an impact on their relationships with their spouse, and even their family members, because kind of like the expectation of what should be in their relationship was influenced by their constant exposure or consumption of pornography. So as a result of all this, the trickle effect is that I see them in my sessions,
Right.
Yeah, so this is basically the three categories of men that I've been working with, having conversations with. Some have been able to, find their own, I guess, bearings after that and know what it's about. So it's an ongoing, evolving topic, John, because we're so different as men, right? And different needs. And it's this whole topic of pornography actually meet our needs in different ways.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a rather challenging and not an easy topic to talk about. So what kind of outcome do you hope from this talk?
So as a result of that, I only hope to just share objective information specific to what porn is about, and what he has done for the people that I've worked with. So a little bit of experience. But I would very much like to just offer the information objectively. Then also to talk about men, right? Because I'm familiar with men, so I just do a bit of research. Let's talk about us men, what we're about, and to let the audience, men and women alike, decide for themselves how they would like to apply those information, for their own relationships, for themselves, to become a better version of themselves, and my practice is largely informed by neuroscience. So I use brain science to inform my practice. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is really having to talk about the brain, like how the watching pornography does affect or does not affect the brain. Men, how are we? How do we grow? What are essentials to the development of men, healthy development of men, and so on and so forth. Right? Let's objectively put it out there, all right, and then leave it at that. right? To have conversations moving forward at different segments of the community or society, so that we all can build each other up the best way that we know how to lah. Yeah, so that's the
Right.
hope. Yeah.
Right. So who do you think should register for this talk? Who would you like to see at this talk?
Of course, those who are dabbling with porn, that's one. Have been consuming porn. If they do not already know, then this would be good for you to understand a little bit more about what porn is about and what it does for us men. Those questioning, I suppose, those who are fathers, actually, grandfathers, even, because at least they will know what we are talking about, what we're dealing with, and so that in their parenting, in their fathering, they will be able to know how to respond. And it's very natural for young men to even question, even to dabble with that, right? So at least fathers, grandfathers will be able to know how to respond. And mothers as well, or adults, caring adults who are in the space of caring for young men or on journey with adulting men. Right? Or
So
maybe
I guess
even
the loved ones, right? Not just the mothers, but perhaps partners, wives, girlfriends, or anyone who's interested in to perhaps see how they can help with this journey. You think?
Yes, I think if anything at all, you will help them appreciate that a little bit more. The men and the pornography in general. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds going to be very interesting.
I hope so. I'm just I'll just share whatever I've been traveling with and working with.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Nick, for sharing your valuable insights with us. And we're really looking forward, to your talk on 1st November at Form 2. So as a grandfather and a father, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Okay. Give me feedback after that. Let me know.
Sure.
I was on this journey, so let's grow together.
Yeah, certainly. That's the purpose of Form 2, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, friends, well, it looks like the challenges in overcoming pornography definitely real. The issue is real and not easy. Yeah. So it certainly is a call for us men to become what we are meant to be, right? Better, stronger, as we continue to play our part to contribute to the flourishing of families and society today and in time to come. Now, if you want to hear more from Nick's rich insights, especially in handling the challenges of pornography and how we can journey with those, so seeing how we can help our loved ones perhaps overcome it, just come to Form 2, the second forum on the richness of manhood, which will be held on 1st November 2025 at the Suntec Convention Center in Singapore. By the way, I'll also be touching on a related topic, why and how fathers can fulfill our role as important formators of our children in this area of sexuality education. So just click on the link in the show notes below to register for the conference, and we look forward to seeing you there. Bye for now.